to sleep. I want to sleep.
Hi, welcome to DeVore Fidelity's YouTube channel. I'm John DeVore. Today is going to be a record, actually a cassette recommendation, but actually I'm not sure if it was ever available on vinyl, but I know it's available as a digital download and streaming. It's a protest record. The tape, the tape is Lonnie Holley Mith. I got it as a cassette, and it came with a high resolution download, which is something that I always thought was hilarious and cool, because oftentimes the cassette with the free download is less expensive than the high resolution download by itself. Go figure. And you get a beautiful little bit of packaging, you know, in most cases. In this case, certainly, yes, it's a beautiful little cassette. Sounds great on cassette. It's one of the better cassettes that I've gotten. Lonnie Holley is, he's an interesting case. You could describe him as an outsider artist musically, but even more than that, he's a sculptor. He's an artist in general terms. His art, his sculptural art, is certainly considered outsider art, generally made from found objects. It has sort of an improvisational impressionism to it, though there are figurative elements in it. Faces appear here and there, or obviously the found objects still retain some of their original identity. The objects are beautiful. The images are beautiful. Lonnie Holley was he was born in pre-civil rights Alabama, and the legend has it that he was one of 27 kids, and that at age 4 he was essentially traded for a bottle of whiskey. He had a very hard upbringing without really any home. He lived even for a time in a circus where he would clean up the trash. His biography has a lot of those kind of bluesman hardships listed in it. His music reflects that, as does his art. His first pieces of art were 2 gravestones that he made for his sister's 2 daughters that were killed in a house fire. There was a metal, an iron works, an iron foundry near to where his sister lived, and out back of the foundry they would dump all of the used up sandcasting molds. Sandcasting happens in a very, very loose sense. Sandcasting is where the molten metal, the molten iron or the molten bronze, is poured into a mold that's made out of pressed sand. So it's sand with some sort of a medium to sort of keep it together. But the mold is made out of sand. I mean, they made engine blocks out of this. They're the famous Honda Sandcast CB750 motorcycles, which are worth a lot of money. Anyway, that's a tangent. But then, so once the mold is opened, the whole thing is just kind of broken out, and the sand kind of the sand and composite just kind of crumbles away, and what you're left with is the molded metal, the iron or whatever it is. So Lonnie actually went and gathered up these abandoned chunks of stuck together, almost like a synthetic sandstone, and he started carving in those. He made his niece's grave markers with them, and from that he started carving them and making sculpture. There's a lot online about his artwork, and then more recently his music. Mith is his 3rd record, and so he has one more after this. This is the only one I know well, and I love it. It's had a lot of playtime here. It is definitely it's a protest album in a sense, in that he is talking about a lot of hardship, and he's reflecting on the way the world is without any sugarcoating. The very first song on this says he's a suspect. He was born a suspect. Other songs in here are I Snuck Off the Slave Ship, I Woke Up in a Fucked Up America, Down in the Ghostness of Darkness, a beautiful song. He does end up the album on an upbeat note in a way. The last song on here, Sometimes I Wanna Dance, which I think expresses his ability to find art and beauty and meaning in anything. If you look at his art, especially his more recent art, they're found objects. A great deal of it is really just trash. It's stuff that clearly would have been thrown away by everyone, except for someone with an eye like Lonnie Holley for finding beauty and meaning in everyday objects, and in particular objects that would be thrown away or abandoned or considered useless by many others. This was an album that was recommended to me for my protest music series by a customer, by a viewer. And I know I posted a few years ago when I first bought this tape, I posted an image of the cassette on social media, on one of the DeVore Fidelity social media outlets, probably Facebook. And someone commented there with photographs of their very own Lonnie Holley pieces of art. And they had at least 2 different pieces that they had displayed in their living room. So really beautiful stuff, very cool things, a very interesting artist, and great music, and highly recommended. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next tape.